Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to 5 Minutes with Gray Hair Dave. That's right, it's me, it's Gray Hair Dave. I'm back. Hope you all had a great weekend. I did. Got a lot of rest. For some reason, my body decided I needed a lot of rest, so rest is what I did. So, how are you? I hope you're doing fine. I'm doing well. The voice may sound a little weird because there's something in the air today, but I don't mind. Just to get to the regular portions of our program, my name's Gray Hair Dave. I've got gray hair, I've got a gray beard, and I wear glasses like the guy in the artwork. Now, I want you to know a couple of things about today. Today is a weird day. It's a Monday for me. But I recorded a whole 5 or 6 minutes of the podcast, and I didn't like where I had taken myself. I just didn't. I'd said some things I wasn't very happy with. So I stopped, deleted it, so it's nowhere to be found anywhere. And I'm starting over. Now, one of the things that I am going to use from that was that I don't plan and never did plan on this podcast being very political. I want it to be about whatever I want to be talking about or whatever you might want to be listening to. And for that to happen, you have to like what I'm saying. Now, I have my own political views, as I'm sure you do, and your neighbor, and your cousins, your brothers, your sisters, your mothers, your fathers, your sons and daughters. They all have their own opinion. And we are all entitled to those opinions, whether you live here in the U.S., in Russia, anywhere. I firmly believe that if you live on this earth, you have that inalienable right to have your own opinion. Doesn't mean that where you live doesn't agree with what your opinion is. You may not be allowed to discuss it like we are here in the U.S., and for that, I wish you could. But somebody this week used a gun to voice their opinion instead of their voice. And they attempted to assassinate a former president of the United States. And if you live anywhere in the world, you already know that was Donald Trump. Now, through the grace of God and other things, he is fine. Just grazed his ear. If he had his head turned a centimeter or two the other way, this would have been a completely different day. That would have been a completely different day on Saturday. And this would be a country in crisis, which it's still a country in crisis, but it's not as bad as it is in other parts of the world, and I don't want you to believe that it is. This is still the American way of living over here, and we enjoy it. Now, I want to say a couple of things about what happened, and then I want to move on. The shooter was taken out within a minute of the first attempt to shoot at him. I feel so bad for that man that died. He is a family man. He was a fireman. He jumped on his family to save their lives, and it took his. My prayers are with them, his family. The other two people who were injured that day, my prayers are with them too. As I'm sure yours are also, because they were just bystanders. They were just out there to witness a rally for the presidency of the United States. I'm not going to talk about what President Biden said or anything like that. That's beside the point in my mind right now. I don't care about that. I care that we're going to continue on with this election and we're going to go on with life. Because life is more important to me than being upset with somebody's views. This world has gone nuts. That if my view doesn't agree with your view, I have to be mean to you in some way. My thoughts on this are it's out of control. No absolute reason in the world we're doing this stuff. None. Nothing Trump said, nothing Biden said is worth shooting them for. Nothing. Their way of, their way of thinking, nothing is that bad. I didn't have to serve in the military because I was lucky. The draft had ended before I turned 18, so I didn't have to go in the military service. Most countries, you don't have a choice anymore, or you never had a choice. We have a choice here. I'm happy about that. I have said on this program, I think that if I'd gone into the military service, I might have led a different life. Very true. Doesn't matter. I didn't go. I have friends who went, and I'm very, very proud of them. Very, very proud of them, and I hope that they're listening and know that. It takes a lot more guts than I had to do what they did. But what this person did the other day wasn't gutsy. And it was insane. It was just stupid. So let's get beyond that. And I wanted to mention other times in our history where things haven't gone right. And there have been attempts on presidents' lives or ex-presidents. John Fitzgerald Kennedy in 1963, November, was killed by an assassin in Dallas. In June of 1968, Robert F. Kennedy was shot and killed by a crazy person in Los Angeles during the primaries. March 15th, 1972, presidential candidate George Wallace was shot. He was paralyzed in a wheelchair the rest of his life. There was a guy in 1974 who tried, this is stupid, but Samuel Bick hijacks a DC-9 with the intention of crashing it into the White House to kill Nixon, but is fatally shot by police before he could do so. Do you believe this stuff? Charles Manson tries to kill President Ford, but the gun misfired. Sarah Jane Moore shot at President Ford. Ford wasn't in office that long to be that shot at that often. It just is crazy. In 1981, Ronald Reagan was hit. He was shot in an attempt to kill his life. A plot to blow up George H.W. Bush in a car bomb failed in Kuwait. In 2011, shots were fired at the White House, striking the building but not injuring members of the President Barack Obama's family. 2018, a pipe bomb was mailed to try and kill Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton. And then Trump was shot at this weekend. We've had more attempts than that, but those are the ones in the 19th and the 20th century that I've been around. And I just want to tell you, this has to stop. I am not take your guns away kind of a guy. That's not who I am. I believe in the right to own a weapon. I don't think you need to own an AR-15. I don't think you need to own anything like that, but enthusiasts are enthusiasts. I'm an enthusiast for a lot of things too, like microphones and recording equipment and such. Well, so I have a bunch, and that's my business. It's their business that they have a bunch of guns. I don't have to take any kind of a test to buy a microphone, but I think you ought to have to take a test to buy bullets. At least originally, to be licensed to own a gun and have bullets. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, folks, and I'm going to stop now talking about that because we're almost out of time for today. I appreciate you every time I look at the numbers and I see where I'm at and I see where in the world people are listening to me from, and I appreciate you all. I am here to talk to you personally. And if I don't have something good to say to you today, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just not going to publish, Why? I have had this rule in my life until recently that if I get upset with somebody, it's best to sleep on it. You can ask 2.5 about this. I got upset with her once in a while, or upset with a situation. She'd ask me what was wrong. I would say nothing. In a way she recognized, and she'd just let it go. We'd go on with the rest of our day or our evening. And when I got up the next day, it was no big deal. Nobody died. Nobody died or got hurt or got anything. People change. After my last surgery, I changed, and I wouldn't let myself be taken advantage of anymore. So I would lash out verbally and I still do. If I'm taken advantage of, you're going to know about it. I'm not going to yell at you always, or hardly ever. It depends on what it is you've done to me. But if you fail to listen, I have to raise my voice for you to hear me. And I don't like to do that. I've gotten away from that in the last 4 or 5 years. But I don't want to be taken advantage of, and neither do you. And I'm not here to do that. Folks, I'm going to end it here. You know what I normally say. If you got an opinion, go to my website, 5minuteswithgrayhairdave.com. That's the number 5minuteswithgrayhairdave.com. Leave me a message. Let me know what you're thinking. If you need to vent and ever, leave me a message. Give me a phone number. I'll talk with you, because I don't want you going crazy like this. And I know you are not the type of folks who would do this. Also, folks, remember, if you know somebody who doesn't know what a podcast is, doesn't know where to find one, doesn't know how to listen to one, follow one, save one, subscribe, whatever, show them for me. There's a lot of different kinds of podcasts out there, and not all of them are like mine. But I wish more of them were on an upward note instead of a downward note. Also, don't forget, smile at somebody you don't know. You're going to make their day. You make mine by being here. So on behalf of all the nut jobs up in my head, I'm going to call it a day. You have a nice day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.